Hey, Science 20s, it's the start of a new week. We're going to be talking about things that are extinct today. Well, actually, it's just going to be an overview of the terms and terminologies. I've got a fun project for you guys to work on this week. So, just going over the different terms. Here we go. Extinct, extirpated, endangered, threatened, and vulnerable. So when humans or nature messes with things that live on Earth, you can have varying changes to the ecological cycles. Okay, so let's take a look at those terms real quick. Extinct means a species having no more surviving members. That means they are gone forever. It's gone from this Earth. The dinosaurs are a good example. Now, what has happened lots with extinct species is that over time, you've had a species change, and that member maybe has survived, but the original species is gone. Birds and dinosaurs, non-avian dinosaurs and dinosaurs, they separated millions of years ago, and that's where we get most of the birds today from, as they are close relatives to ancient dinosaurs. They're not dinosaurs, but they're from the same pathway. We're going to look at that in the second unit of biology. Without crazy Jurassic Park techniques, things that are extinct are gone forever. The second type of extinction is called extirpation. To be extirpated means there's no more of that species in a particular geographical region. So one of the things in Canada that was extirpated in the early 1900s is the swift fox. And I have a couple videos, hopefully you guys watch those, about how adorable the swift fox is. Swift foxes are about the size of a cat. And they were hunted and poisoned to extinction in Western Canada because they were like eating chickens and turkeys and other fowl that farmers would use. And of course, if you're a farmer and a swift fox eats all your chickens, that's your livelihood. So you're going to get rid of them. They're a pest. But the swift fox were brought to such a low number that they couldn't reproduce to keep the numbers up, and they were extirpated. They have been brought back in different parts of the world, and even in parts of Western Canada, through breeding and protection. So you can see them in zoos sometimes. They're still super rare. They're still very, very rare. They're adorable. They're so cute. They're little teeny tiny foxes. About the size of like if you think about your elbow to the tip of your finger, that's about how big a swift fox is. Very cute. Now, the next three terms are really nebulous. They're endangered, they are threatened, and they're vulnerable. So they're all basically a sliding slope down to extinction. Animals that are endangered are at serious risk for extinction. And there are some endangered animals that their numbers have gotten so low, they will go extinct. There's nothing we can do about it. There's just not enough genetic diversity to keep them from going extinct. Because of the big forest fires that happened in Australia at the start of this year, in January, it's really sad. The koala bears, their genetic diversity was really damaged. There were some studies that were done that concluded that it may be so damaged that the koala bears are in an endangered zone that they'll never recover from, and we'll see a slow, steady decrease in their numbers to extinction. And that could, of course, be changed by human intervention if we're quick enough on it. And I know scientists are looking at that. Other reports are like, there's probably enough koalas. They're more threatened than endangered. Threatened and vulnerable are just different degrees of danger an animal's in. Now, there is a whole bunch of really cool extinct animals that we have bones of. They're not fossils. They're only a couple thousands of years old. And they're the great fauna that were around when humans were around. But we're talking like 600, 1,000, 2,000, up to like 5,000 to 10,000 years ago. There were these, and there even before that, there were these things, they're called megafauna. Giant, huge animals roamed the earth that were mammalian or bird-like. One of my favorite is the moa. And they estimate the moa, not Jason Momoa, like the Aquaman. These are giant flightless birds, like twice the size of an ostrich, that lived in New Zealand. And New Zealand didn't have people that lived on it until about 600 years ago. And people got from Australia to New Zealand, or maybe from the Polynesian Islands to New Zealand, and hunted the moa to extinction. You can imagine that the moa didn't have any predators. That's one of the big things that leads to rapid extinction, is the introduction of a predator. The moa didn't have anything that could kill it. They were just too big. The only thing that messed with the moa was smaller predators that would eat the young or eat the eggs. Humans came along with advanced hunting techniques and were strong enough to murder and wipe out the moa. They're gone. And we have fossils of them. They've recreated the bodies. They found feathers of the moa. They did exist. So tomorrow I'm going to introduce a couple more extinct species. They're my favorite, but you guys in your project this week are going to be doing an extinct species that you find interesting. So I'll have a list you can pick from, or maybe there's one that you really like. Now, I don't want you to pick an extinct species like a dinosaur, okay? I want you guys to think of something that's, everybody knows the dinosaurs went extinct. Everybody knows the dodos went extinct. I want you guys to pick something different. So you can just Google extinct species and pick one of those. They're all super interesting. And they don't have to be made extinct by humans. They could just be through changes in the world. Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about today, and this is the last part of the first unit of biology, there's 3 units of biology, is what an invasive species is. An invasive species is the opposite of a species that's endangered or going extinct, because they rapidly expand in areas they're new to. And it's not that that species is really good at surviving. They're just put in an environment where there's food that it can eat and a lack of predators, so it runs amok. Either intentionally or unintentionally, they have moved to a new ecosystem. Humans are mostly the cause of this, and Australia is a good example with rabbits. So the video I'm going to link to today's lesson talks about the disaster of rabbits in Australia. Rabbits were brought as a way to, because they wanted game to hunt and to eat, but the rabbits didn't have enough natural predators, and they spread like crazy in Australia. Another Australian example is the cane toad. And I'll have a video for that the next day, not today, but the next day. So an invasive species is moved, and it outcompetes everything and takes over the ecosystem, or there's way too much of it, which means that it's causing negative effects for other creatures in that same ecosystem. Okay, so take a look at the new assignment today and watch some of the fun videos. I got some about the Swiftbox too, and that's the end of the first section of biology. So I'm going to give you guys a couple days to work on this project, and then Thursday and Friday we're going to have like a Google form test on the first part of biology. That's the plan for this week. Okay.